Court's in session in the court's arraignment docket. First case is cause number 327470, and the second case is cause number 327478-1. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Herbert Sidney Howard III. Mr. Howard, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Howard?
Doing fine.
That's good, Mr. Howard. Would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Howard, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down. Mr. Howard, I have before me two documents. First document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights of Defendants Without an Attorney. Recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
And are those your initials on the line that say that I want to apply for a court-appointed attorney?
Yes, sir.
And the next document I have is titled the Affidavit of Indigency. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this document is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant Signature. Is that your signature?
Yes.
Mr. Howard, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything true and correct in these documents?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Howard, I've read the affidavit of indigency, and based on the information that you provided, you qualify, or you meet the eligibility requirements for appointment of a court-appointed attorney. Therefore, you qualify for a court-appointed attorney, and your attorney that's going to be appointed to represent you in this case is Mr. Ryan Matuska. Mr. Howard, please step on the 4X in front of our court coordinator.
Right here.
The one to the left, for the,
Right here.
yes. And she's gonna give you some paperwork. And once she finishes giving you that paperwork, you're gonna follow the bailiff. Okay?
I'm getting another court date.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm ready to get it over with.
You have pending felony.
And like, really, I've been incarcerated for like a year on that case right there.
Okay, now, Mr. Howard, you applied for a court-appointed attorney. If you want to change your mind, you can, like I said, you had 3 options. That's on the paper.
On my next court
You
date.
can, we don't know. She'll let you know. Okay?
I'm gonna put it in January.
On the same day, okay.
He didn't have it.
Okay, yeah, they're gonna give him a felony court date. Okay,
Um,
she'll let you know.
I'll look and see and change it with your felony set. This will probably be a better. That could be one thing that I do. You want to-
Dwight Lewis. Mr. Bell, could you hand this to Dwight Lewis? Mr. Lewis, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Lewis, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes, sir.
You may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Lewis? That's good. Now, Mr. Lewis, the document that you have before you is titled Standard Bond Conditions in County Court at Law Number 2. I also have before me a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights of Defendants Without an Attorney. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
And you stated that you would like to hire your own attorney, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, your case is gonna be reset to give you an opportunity to hire your own attorney. Now, the document that you have in your hand, I will go over this document with you. That document is titled Standard Bond Conditions in County Court at Law Number 2, and it reads, following the arrest and or accusation in County Court at Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein or ordered subject to the following additional condition. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or against the United States. Do you understand that condition? Condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time is directed by the court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol, and the test indicates the presence of drugs or alcohol in the defendant's body. And that's pursuant to Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.44, Section A2 and Section C2. Do you understand that condition? And condition number 3, the defendant shall not communicate either directly or indirectly with the alleged victim of the pending offense, and the defendant shall not go near any residence, school, or other location frequented by the alleged victim. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
Now, condition number 4 doesn't apply to you because that only applies in the DWI case. Your case is not a DWI case. So, Mr. Lewis, if you violate any one of these conditions, your bond can be revoked, and if your bond is revoked, you'll be placed in the Jefferson County Jail. Do you understand that? All right. Now, Mr. Lewis, have a seat in that first chair with that black and yellow tape, and then when she's ready for you, she's gonna call you up to the window right there. You can get out there. Jordan Reed. Followed by Jordan Reed. Who's Jordan Reed? Is he in the back? Don't worry about it. That's all right. I'll go to the next one. Okay. Next person. What's your name?
Jordan.
Oh, you Jordan Reed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I call your name. Where were you?
Jordan Reed.
Judge Holmes.
Miss Alfaro, please get off of the Zoom. I'm in
Judge
a
Holmes.
session. Please get off of the Zoom right now. And if you do not get off of the Zoom, the court is going to remove you. Please contact your attorney in arraignment. Okay. You say you're Mr. Reed? Would you please come forward? Okay. Your name is Jordan Reed, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Reed, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Reed, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Reed, how are you doing? That's good. Mr. Reed, I have before me 2 documents. The first document that I have is titled The Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are a
Yes, sir.
set of initials here that state you want to apply for a court-appointed attorney. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And also, I have a document that's titled Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, Mr. Reed, there are a set of initials. Excuse me, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant's Signature. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Reed, prior to signing any initial in these documents that I've just mentioned, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Reed, based on the information that you provided to the court, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And your attorney that is going to be appointed in your case is Mr. John Macy.
May I get his number?
All that information will be provided to you.
Yes, sir.
Stand on the 4X in front of our court coordinator. It's the 4X, not the area. John Macy. Lee Smith. Okay, Mr. Smith, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Smith, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Smith? That's good, Mr. Smith. I have before me two documents. First document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
It is.
Are these your initials on line saying you want to apply for a court-appointed attorney? And the next document is titled Affidavit of Indigency. Do you recognize this document? And on page 2 of the same document, Ms. Smith, Mr. Smith, is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant Signature? Now, Mr. Smith, prior to signing initially in these documents that I just mentioned, did you read the documents? Did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything true and correct in these documents?
It is.
Okay, Mr. Smith, I read the affidavit of indigency. Based on your response, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of court-appointed attorney. And your attorney that's going to be appointed in this case is Mr. Charles McIntosh. This is Lee Smith. He's at the bottom of page 2. Now, Mr. Smith, you're gonna have a seat, that first chair that has that black and yellow tape on it, sit there. And then when the court coordinator is ready for it, she's gonna call you up. Kevin Ross.
This is gonna be his address, this is his office phone number. If you have not heard from him or someone in his office about this come tomorrow, please call this number and let him know he's been court-appointed. Okay? And give me that other number.
This is files number 330970. Case of Style of State of Texas versus Kevin Ross. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ross, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Ross, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ross, you may put your hand down. Mr. Ross, how are you doing?
Doing good.
That's good. Now, Mr. Ross, I have before me two documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
And are these your initials on the line say you want to apply for court-appointed attorney?
Yes, sir.
Now, also, I have a document that is titled Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this document, Mr. Ross, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant Signature. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Ross, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ross, based on your information that you provided in the affidavit of indigency, you meet the eligibility requirements of a court-appointed attorney, and your attorney that is going to be appointed to represent you in this case is Ms. Laurie Perazzo. And our court coordinators are going to give you that information. Have a seat in that chair with the black and the black and yellow tape. Desiree Etheridge.
This is your correct number, 675. This is gonna be your court date unless he tells you otherwise. If you do not hear from him or someone in his office, please. call
All right.
him.
Ms. Etheridge, would you, your full name is Desiree Etheridge? Ms. Etheridge, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Etheridge, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Ms. Etheridge, you may put your hand down. How you doing, Ms. Etheridge? That's good. Ms. Etheridge, I have before me two documents. The first document that I have is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. Do you recognize this document? Now, Ms. Etheridge, is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? And are these your initials on the line that states, I want to apply for court-appointed attorney?
Yes.
And Ms. Etheridge, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Which is the affidavit of indigence? On page 2 of this document, Ms. Etheridge, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant Signature. Is that your signature? Now, Ms. Etheridge, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Ms. Etheridge, I read your affidavit of indigence, and based on the information that you provided, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And your attorney that is going to be appointed in this case is Ms. Marva Provo. Ms. Etheridge, would you please sit in the chair with the black and yellow tape? And our court coordinator will give you all the information you need for Ms. Provo.